Got a spot across the spot, just for peace. Drop the data, now we plotting. Exotic peas.
What is going on, everyone? And welcome to the Uncensored Entrepreneur Show for couples. My name is Eric.
I'm Sierra.
And if you haven't listened to the show, what the show is about is we are married and we're entrepreneurs. And so this show is specifically targeted to married entrepreneurs, and we talk about, real shit. We talk about the gross, disgusting, stressful, make you want to throw up type shit that you deal with that comes with being an entrepreneur and in a relationship and finding that quote unquote balance and all that fun stuff. But we target more than just that. Our audience is also people who aren't business owners, who just want to excel at in their position of employment, or who maybe aspire to be a business owner one day, or maybe people who aren't in a relationship but are starting a business or own a business, kind of helps them in their navigations for future if they are, married. So a little bit of a broader audience there. Pretty much anything relating to the potential or possibility of being in a relationship and or being an entrepreneur, or a badass employee somewhere. So why we do it is, listen, being an entrepreneur is awesome. Obviously I wouldn't change it. I choose to be an entrepreneur. I wouldn't change it for anything. I am not cut out to work for somebody. I don't like working for other people. Well, at least I just haven't found the right person that I want to work for. But I have bigger visions. I'm too wild and crazy to be caged up, right? So the idea is, being an entrepreneur is wonderful, but it also comes with its, significant level of stress, especially when you're starting out. It comes with stress, with the tension, with the finances, with the, whatever, the long hours, and then when you tie that into your family and into your relationship, it could just intensify, cause problems, right? And so the idea of why we do this is so that we talk about the shit that we've gone through, and that's what our credentials are, is, we didn't just figure out how to do things the right way, and we're telling you how we did them. We did everything the wrong way and learned the hard way, and so we're telling you what we did so that you don't do that. So we're just talking about our own life experience, to help you not allow your business to negatively impact your relationship or your relationship to negatively impact your business. Hopefully you can find something relatable involved in that. So we talk about our shit show so that hopefully you don't have as big of a shit show in your life. So, but we also like hearing from you. We like hearing your topics. We like hearing your questions. If you want advice on something, if you want to, just email us and tell us how awesome we are or how much we suck, whatever that looks like. I don't give a shit. But if you have something that you're going through in your life that you want to see if we have gone through it in ours and have any, advice or input or suggestions or whatever, then you can email us. Send your emails to questions@uncensoredpodcast.com. Questions@uncensoredpodcast.com, yeah. You can also check out our socials. I think we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that, at The Uncensored Entrepreneur Show on those social channels. So check us out. And we don't really talk, we don't promote the show. Basically what happened is I found out that I can buy all this cool shit on Amazon. And I can pay somebody that knows how to put it together and put little words and shit at the bottom of the screen right here. And that's what we do. So we don't promote it. We don't have commercials. We don't have ads. We don't, none of that shit. So basically, if you find anything of value or substance in these, 30-minute episodes, maybe find like a minute worth of like something relevant that's not us just fucking around, then give it to, tell a friend about it. Like if you can think of like that person that might, need to hear something out of here or, that might benefit from any of this, or if we're just, fucking hilarious to you, then, whatever. Share the show. Tell your friends about it. But that being said, today we always talk about like the hustle, the grind, the communication, like all the bad stuff, right? Not necessarily bad stuff, but the stuff that that you need to have, make sure that you have your shit right. The things that could go bad if you fuck it up, whatever the case is. We talk about that a lot. But today, we'll talk about something a little bit different, and that's making sure that you're finding time to recharge and reconnect with your spouse, right? And we've talked about date night before. Date night is super important. We are actually guilty. We have not gone on date night in a little while. So
we have some making up to do.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but it sounds dirty. I like it. So, anyway, so we talked about date night. We talked about the importance of that. That's all great. That has to be consistent. The reason why it has to be consistent is because otherwise you will start to crave it. Typically one spouse will start to crave it. In our relationship, it's me. I want the time. I want the time. I want the time. And then I don't ever get the time, because of the kids or whatever the case.
Damn
and then I'll start to idolize, hold it too important. I don't want to say too important, but I'll start to like not think about anything else. Right. And so, but anyway, staying on topic, we talk about the importance of date night, why that's important, that is important. But when I say recharge, reconnect with your spouse, I mean something a little bit bigger than date night. Call it like a prolonged date night or whatever. So whether that's a getaway, a weekend staycation, even a night, whatever. If you live, you don't have to plan this like big, crazy, elaborate, expensive trip. You can just go stay at like a resort in town or something like that. Find a sitter for the kids. It's good to go on family trips too, because you also need to, reconnect and recharge with your family. But you have to have both.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you have a lot of kids, we have 5 kids. So taking the kids to like Disneyland and taking them to a trip, I love it. It's a lot of work. It's not a place where Sierra and I get to recharge and reconnect. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we both get a lot of excitement and joy out of watching our kids like experience these things and like have fun and whatever. And that's cool. Like that's very important too. But you also have to make sure, right, that you're reconnecting and recharging with your spouse. 1, because you need to be on the same page. 2, you need to keep the passion and the I don't know, excitement or the emotional connection, whatever that is, you need to keep that like tight.
Have fun together.
Yeah.
Have fun together.
Yeah. And again, it's fun with the kids and all, but also at the same time, like have fun together where you can go home and like, get dirty and shit without having to like put the kids to bed and then dad fucking falls asleep before mom does that. And then wakes up at 2 a.m. and mom's passed out snoring. And so, whatever. So that doesn't happen here. No, I just made that up.
Yeah. I don't know where he got that from.
Anyway, so next week we are out of town and we're going to be doing just that. Don't worry. You're still going to hear from us and you're still going to get your regularly scheduled, probably actually on time this time.
We'll be back by the time this episode comes out. Right?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. So, yeah, this episode will actually come out a few days after we get back. So, and we do that so that you can't like Kardashian us and come find us and be like, oh my God.
Stalkers.
I know. So, no, for real though. So we're going to be taking, some time to recharge, right? And what's cool is like we're not paying for any of it. You know what I mean? So
it's the best kind of trip.
It's the best kind of trip. Trips are fun. Trips are important. But this is a trip that was gifted to us for, buying a bunch of roof and shit.
Being good clients.
Yeah, being good clients. So building a strong relationship. So anyway, so the point is it's very, very important to make sure that you're reconnecting and recharging with your spouse. So we're going to be gone. We're going to be somewhere without the kids, probably for the longest consecutive time that we've been without the kids. So realistically, it's probably not going to go as well as I hope, because all she's going to do is like look at the cameras at the house and fucking, but whatever. So the reason why that's important is, again, going out with your family and everything like that. I mean, that's super important. But you want to make sure that you're connecting with your spouse because you want to make sure, like I said, that you're on the same page. You want to make sure that you're staying involved, physically and emotionally in each other's lives and supporting one another and all that fun stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that probably goes on in Sierra's life with her and the kids that I don't know about, or the kids in the school that I don't know about. And I'm sure there's stuff that goes on, like in my thoughts and in my life that she doesn't know about. Not like major stuff, but it's just an opportunity for us to talk, sync our calendars, sync our hearts.
I was gonna say catch up on like the little details because we miss out on that a lot because we don't have time to talk about little things. Like obviously we're not going to talk about the kids the whole time we're alone, but things will happen with the kids that I don't even get to tell you. So it's like I have to like save them all up and then tell you about them at one time.
Yeah. So definitely really important. And it's not, obviously you want to do it as often as you can, but often as you reasonably can. I mean, it's not like you can go like on a big trip, like especially a week-long trip, often, every month or whatever. And if you can, great, go for it. But the reason why it's also important is because, when I'm home, you're dealing with the day-to-day, you're dealing with the grind, you're dealing with a lot of things happening at once, wearing a lot of different hats. And, we've talked about the importance of like when I come home, even though my office is at the house, but aside from that, like when I come home, I need to devote that time to just be home. Even if I pause work for a little bit, because I can't turn it off, but even if I pause it for a little bit and then, spend time with the family, go to dinner, have dinner, whatever, watch a movie, I don't know. Hang out with the when they go to bed, then go back to work, but this is just a time where it also provides a lot of self-development, right? For us individually, right? So it's something that Sierra and I need to be able to reconnect and to be able to, recenter ourselves, right? But it's also something that I need personally and that she needs personally, regardless of the other person being there, because it's at a time where we're away from the day-to-day, the school, the kids, the work, the whatever, for long enough to where we can reflect.
Yeah, be alone with our thoughts.
Be alone with our thoughts.
Yes.
Come up with some great ideas, and just kind of recenter, right? Kind of go from there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The anxiety of going on trips for me is always pretty high, only because I'm overly involved, I think at times.
Yeah, but I was going to say when you are though, it's not like, I know it's not ideal. You don't want to be putting out fires while you're gone, but even when you're here and you're putting out fires, you're not actually physically there doing it. It's not like you actually have to go and fix things. So
True.
You usually handle everything over the phone obviously you go out when you need to, but
yeah.
Most things can be dealt with over
And
the
it's
phone.
a lot easier to put out a fire when I'm sitting somewhere in the sand than it is when I'm, sitting in a car over here in traffic or some shit. So, so it's definitely make sure that you find that time to recharge, whatever that looks like. Like I said, if that's staycation, if that's just one night at the hotel, I should not hotel at a resort or something,
Motel Inn.
You don't want to take her to the Motel 6 or something.
Motel
That'll make
6,
her feel
Motel
like
Inn.
a whole different kind of way.
You might not have a wife when you get back.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. If they start, all I'm saying is if they start asking you if you want the hourly rate plan, go to a different location. Don't go to that hotel. Unless that's all you got the sitter for. Take what you can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, so find time to do that. Find time to prioritize that. Once a quarter, if you're doing like a small thing, if you're doing like a big week thing or whatever, I don't know, once a year, like whenever you can manage it.
Yeah, whatever works for you guys.
Because if you're staying consistent on your date night and you're staying consistent on your family time and you're going to be taking the family trips, you know what I mean? So you start planning trips with just you and your spouse or whatever for, once a quarter, and you got 4 a year, and you're like, cool, I capped the budget. Then you're going to turn around and look at your kids and be like, oh, fuck, I forgot about them.
Gotta plan something for
So you got to make sure that you still have time for them. like I said, even if it's like camping, dude, like go like
Yeah, there's so many things to
yeah,
do.
just any. The point is somewhere in relative solitude with just you and your spouse.
Just out of your house, the change of scenery
Yeah.
is what helps.
Right. Yeah, because you stay home. Like I imagine, like if we have like somebody, which we don't, but like if we had somebody that can just come and take the kids and like stay at their house or whatever, then we just had the house to ourselves. Man, I'm gonna end up sitting in my office and start working, and Sierra's gonna watch her trash TV and shit, and then next thing you know, like I'll get a bunch of shit done. I'll be pretty productive.
Yeah.
And she'll binge out like a season on Little
Grey's
People,
Anatomy.
Little Dresses. Yeah, whatever, Grey's Anatomy. But like,
It won't be.
but
like
we're not going to be able to
time.
recharge,
Yeah.
and then we're going to try to catch up and do that like the last minute before the kids come home, and then I'm only going to want like well, let's skip right to the good stuff. You know what I mean?
We
Because
can
the
watch
kids
TV
are going
afterwards.
Yeah, we can connect after we connect. You know what I'm saying? But like, obviously, it's not going to work that way because she's going to want the emotional connection, and I don't know. Sometimes I think that sometimes I think all that bullshit. Sometimes I think that she just like if I just came home and like put on like what are those things that you wear? I picture like a grilling apron, but like it's not for grilling; it's for like dishes. What are those?
Just like an apron.
Nobody really wears an apron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
apron.
sure. Like so, like I just put on an apron and like get like a, I don't know, like a sink loofah or whatever the fuck they are.
Sponge. Sink loofah.
I don't fucking know. Like a scrubber. That's what I'm
my
thinking.
God.
And then just start like doing dishes and shit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then
Fellas, that's the trick.
Yeah.
Start
My
cleaning
back
dishes.
will start hurting because I'll be leaning over the fence. Or over the fence, over the sink.
I was like, what?
I
What
don't
fence
know,
are you
man. I'm in
leaning
fucking
over?
work mode, whatever. Leaning over the sink.
I was like, wait, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know,
Something
man.
totally different.
Yeah, who knows? You got aprons and loofahs and fucking fences and
Sink loofahs.
sink loofahs. I don't know, man.
I'm gonna
like
start calling it that.
plate loofah.
I need to go
like
get some more sink loofahs.
Yeah, whatever, something like that. But yeah. So if I just do that, and then I'm like, hey, like,
See me scrubbing this dish.
you want to watch Tiny Houses? You want to watch
Turn you on.
Chip and Joe? Is that their names?
Yes.
Wow, I got that one right. You want to watch Chip and Joe while I do the dishes?
Done deal.
Yeah, something like that. You just got, like I said in the other episodes, communication. You just got to find out how the other people operate, right? So like Sierra, I know that if she's having a bad day, I just gotta be like, I'll bring you food. You know what I mean? You want food? Let's get food. Like she doesn't have to cook it. Let's just get food. And if I don't know if I'm having a bad day, I don't know what works, but
I do.
yeah, I guess you're probably right. So, see what she was talking about. I'm just kidding.
Children.
So, but yeah. So anyway, it's a short episode today. I mean, the main thing I just wanted to talk about was just making sure that finding time for your wife and kids and family and hanging out, or your husband or whatever role you are. Cool. Like you got to do that. You got to make time for it. But also, you need to make sure that you are prioritizing time to recharge, recenter, and stuff like that with your spouse without the kids every once in a while to make sure that you're all cohesive, make sure that you're all on the same page. And plus it's nice to just relax every once in a while. She doesn't have to clean the house or whatever, and I don't have to deal with the work stuff, even though I'm going to if there's service, which there will be, of course. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, anything else that you want to share some insight on? Some revolutionary.
I wish I had something revolutionary to share.
Okay. It's like that question of like, what's for dinner? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I wrote down on the board. So again, short episode this week, but if you have any questions, if you have any topics, if you have anything that you want us to discuss or whatever that looks like I said, you can always email your questions over to questions@uncensoredpodcast.com. And check us out on our socials. You can always message us there if you have any comments or questions or anything like that as well. But other than that, just make sure that you're staying consistent on date night. Make sure that you are finding time to reconnect and recharge with your spouse, and that you're not neglecting your family in doing so. You have to have both, consistently. So make sure that basically everybody in your business, everybody in your household knows that you are available and that you're giving them attention at all times, right? So sounds simple, right? No stress, no pressure, piece of cake. So just make sure that you make yourself available and present for all of those people in your life, and schedule it, prioritize it. Don't just work to work, because otherwise you're always going to be working, and you're always going to be sitting at the starting line or finding yourself back at the starting line. Just build your relationship with your wife, build your relationship with your kids, with your employees, build your company, that sort of thing. So, that's it. That's all I got for you.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, you all have a phenomenal week, and we will see you next week.
Bye.